Tonight's episode of America's Hometown Horror is brought to you by our friends at Fangoria magazine. That's right, the first name in fright since 1979 is now an affiliate of America's Hometown Horror. And because of that, we can now offer you an exclusive 20% discount on any first-time magazine subscription or merchandise purchase by heading over to shop.fangoria.com and using the code HometownHorrorPod at checkout. That's shop.fangoria.com/HometownHorrorPod, or just use the code HometownHorrorPod at checkout for that exclusive discount on anything from Fangoria. Tonight's episode of America's Hometown Horror is also brought to you by our friends at Horror Facts Magazine. Never heard of Horror Facts Magazine? Well, if you're a horror fan, they're a name that you absolutely should know. You can find them over at horrorfacts.com, and they're a great resource for all things horror, including news, reviews, editorials, and lots of other horror podcasts, not only limited to, but including America's Hometown Horror. So head on over to horrorfacts.com and check them out. Now, let's get on with the show. All right, hello, good evening, or good afternoon as we sit here now, and welcome to another episode of America's Hometown Horror. My name is Mike, and we got a good one here today. It's one that we've all been looking forward to for a long time. But I digress. Before we get into that, why don't we get a few things out of the way here? Here's where you can find us online. First place is our website, which is ahpod.com. It's AHHPOD.com. You can also find us on YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Just search for America's Hometown Horror. You'll find us. You can also email us at hometownhorrorpodcast@gmail.com. And if you'd like to have your voice heard right here on the show, you can give us a call and leave us a voicemail at 508-927-1267. That's 508-927-1267. And of course, the most important thing you can do for our show is to give us a follow, a subscribe, and leave us a review, preferably a 5-star review if you think we do a good job. Helps us get out to more horror fans just like you, dear listener. And last but certainly not least, thanks as always to our buddy Shaun from Skywheel Media, who's now handling all of our audio and music production. And if you have a podcast that you're looking to propel out into the stratosphere in terms of spectacular audio quality, get in touch with us. We'll put you in touch with Shaun. Thank you, Shaun, as always. All right, special day here. We got all the boys back here in studio. Everybody live in front of the microphone, which I love. Matthew, Andrew, hello. What's up?
Hello.
Not much, Daddy.
Ooh.
Longlegs.
I see what you did there, my friend. So, guys, we are mere minutes away from a matinee showing of Longlegs as we record this. Minutes away from seeing Longlegs and shaking off our dicks after taking the post-movie urination. Figured that this would probably be a good movie to skip the news, skip watch list stuff, and just break down, because there's kind of a lot to get to here, right? You guys cool with that?
Yes. This could be a long episode.
Could be a long episode. Certainly a lot of stuff to discuss. And obviously this is a new release, so we are very much aware that people may not have seen this yet. So I think we're going to do as much as we can spoiler-free up front, and then we'll give a clear spoiler warning, because you definitely don't want to have this movie spoiled for you, for sure. So Longlegs, guys. It has been teased for quite a while. Probably some of the most effective marketing for a horror movie that I can remember in recent years. We've been all looking forward to this. I think probably one of, if not all of our most anticipated releases of the year, fair to say?
Yeah. Easily, yes.
Yeah. Did it live up to the hype in your opinion? Yes or no, Matt?
Yeah.
Andrew?
Yes.
Yes, I think so too. Yep. This is coming from me as a huge fan, as we've talked about on this show before, about like dark, satanic crime horror thrillers like Seven, like Zodiac, like Prisoners, like True Detective season 1 type vibes. And I really think that this is one of those movies that is going to be, I think, held in the same light as those types of movies. I think this is, a lot of people have been saying that this is the scariest movie of the last several years, and I don't agree with that.
It's such a scary, it's such a subjective matter that it's hard to even, people will think it's scary. People won't, like me. I didn't think it was scary at all, but
I can see how the average viewer might find this to be a terrifying movie. I feel like, all three of us are pretty seasoned horror veterans. So that there were a couple of really good jump scares in there that got me. I think I like visibly like flinched one time because I wasn't expecting one thing that came. But not the scariest movie I've ever seen, but I think it definitely is a worthy addition to that level of like that type of like horror,
one of the creepiest
crime,
movies in the last few years.
Very creepy, very unsettling. Lots of dread, very anxious the whole time watching it.
Yeah, that is something that he has proven very good at. Oz Perkins is building dread in his movies.
Tension.
Yeah, for sure. So I guess we'll like I said, we'll go spoiler free as long as we can here. But before we get too much into the discussion of this movie, Longlegs, in case you've been living under a rock for the last several months, is a 2024 American horror thriller film written and directed by Osgood Perkins, of course, the son of the late Anthony Perkins from Psycho. It stars Maika Monroe, Blair Underwood, Alicia Witt, Michelle Choi Lee, and Dakota Dalby in supporting roles. And of course, how could you not mention Nicolas Cage as the titular serial killer Longlegs? More on the Nicolas Cage stuff here as we get into this movie. Longlegs in theaters right now. You can see it wherever you can go see movie films in front of a big screen. Very well received by critics, very well received by audiences. Budget was accordingly less than $10 million and has returned over $22.6 million to the box office in its short theatrical run so far, which would be 4 days as of this recording. Pretty goddamn good for a horror movie.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess let's just, like I said, this is all kind of off the cuff here. Usually I have a little bit of an outline written, but we're going to raw dog this bad boy here today and just talk about this fucking movie. So I guess let's just roundtable on Longlegs. Who wants to go first?
I don't know. I guess I'll go first. This is definitely 100% my type of movie.
Yeah, same.
I really didn't. So, like, they did a great job with the marketing because while I had an idea what the movie was going to be, I didn't really. It surprised me. The entire movie was a surprise.
Yeah,
it wasn't at all what I thought it was going to be like. And I think that benefits the movie. I thought it was really well done. The action was phenomenal. Maika Monroe again, proving that she can play. It's almost. I don't want to say that she's kind of like typecast now, but she does have a certain way about her.
She's very quiet.
She's very quiet, meek, almost as if she always has something she wants to say but doesn't know how to say it.
Yeah.
But she's very good. She's very perfect in this role. I can't remember. I don't know the gentleman's name who played her partner or boss.
Oh, that was Blair Underwood, I believe.
Blair Underwood. He was phenomenal too.
Like
the acting was great in this movie. The dialogue was very well written. Great open. Cold open scene. I really like that scene. That helped kind of. I feel like he did this. I feel like Oz Perkins did this in The Black Coat's Daughter too. With just his style of shooting is very. I don't know what it is. It's just I like it a lot. Like it's a lot of just like fade ins and fade outs to like closing in on the scene that builds this like even like when there's you're always expecting something to be. In a different part of the screen, and nothing usually is. It's just it's like he's trying to make you almost not look at like there's a scene where Maika Monroe was sitting down at her desk, and in the background you could see her kitchen, and the whole time I'm like something's going to come in the kitchen. So I'm like focused on that more, and it just that alone makes the movie more tense, more nerve-wracking than it even is because you're expecting something that never actually comes.
A lot of empty space and a lot of shots. That's like what good liminal horror. That's like the big thing these days. That's a good use of like that type of stuff.
Yeah, which I mean they don't show a lot of the kills. I mean in reality.
Yeah, I mean not a ton.
A lot of it happens.
They are bloody when they do happen.
Yeah,
you get a lot of blood spray.
A lot of blood spray. A lot of blood spatter.
Yeah, actually no.
Dexter come in and clean some of this up.
Yeah, the build up like this is very clearly like through title cards in the movie broken into 3 acts. All hell kind of breaks loose in that third act there. The first 2 are a little bit more contained, little work like it's kind of amazing how much story they pack into this movie. And it was what, an hour and how long?
You get a good expedition dump.
101 minutes. That's an hour and 41 minutes.
Yeah,
this movie. So it flew by. Like I could have. Probably if this was 2 hours, I would have been okay with it.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it was only 3 o'clock.
I think there's a lot of comparisons to Silence of the Lambs. I don't really see that.
I do just with Harker and Sterling.
I could see her more as Will Graham though.
Okay.
Because of like her like weird like intuition.
Yeah.
And everything. I get that part though, but I was like, other than that, it really wasn't like much.
Yeah.
I mean, he kind of looked like
Yeah. So I think like one of the things that definitely differentiates this movie from those other movies we talked about, right? So like your Sevens, your Zodiacs, your Prisoners, is that this definitely has a very supernatural element.
Yeah,
to
heavy
it.
satanic, which
Yeah.
I didn't know was what we were getting into.
Yeah.
Today.
Yeah.
That was new to me going in. And I didn't really like go crazy on trailers and stuff like that. Like I didn't watch any of the new trailers that got released last week.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to be very procedural and stuff like that, which it was. And I like that. That's good. As long as it stays kind of like there's enough that happens that kind of keeps it moving and not getting like boring or anything like that.
Yep.
But like the Nick Cage character is I like that you see him during the movie. Like it goes over and like shows him for a little bit and like what he's doing and stuff like that. Rather than kind of him being hidden and then coming out here and there. But like you kind of get a little dive into his like living space and everything like that. So that reminded me kind of like Buffalo Bill because you kind of go back.
Yeah, that's true.
Too.
Yep. Definitely.
He must have been on screen for maybe 5 minutes.
Accumulate. Yeah.
Cumulative.
It's
which was perfect though. It wasn't.
Yep.
It was just enough.
Yeah. Agreed. I think that there was just enough and it wasn't overdone. I agree with that. I think because there definitely could have been too much of Nick Cage in this movie. And I think that there was just the right amount.
I would have loved a little more backstory on him.
Yeah, that would have been good.
Yeah.
Because that was my only concern really was Nick Cage. Because don't get me wrong, I love Nick Cage, but he's a little over the top.
Yes.
So he definitely could have ruined this movie had they let him.
Yeah. I agree. And I don't think he did at all.
No.
He gets a little. He has his moments where he gets like real crazy.
Yeah, he really does.
Out of nowhere.
It's insane.
But like he's so creepy.
It's like perfect.
That it's not even like funny. You're like, oh man, this is.
I mean, I chuckled a couple
really...
times. That was more because I was just uncomfortable.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but you're like the whole. That's why I was saying when I was leaving, I was like, he's so creepy and crazy, and it's not even a little bit funny. It's like, oh man, this guy is like really fucking creepy,
unsettling. To just over the top manic within the snap of a finger. And I think they did a really good job concealing what he looked like in the marketing leading up to that, because they really could have leaned into that heavier and they didn't. Because he looks
insane.
Horrifying.
Yeah.
He looks horrifying.
Great job on the makeup, prosthetics, whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Yeah, he definitely has some prosthetics. But he's like he like looks like a human clown. You know what I mean? Like it's just like he has these like extreme features that are just like very unnatural.
Yeah.
And it almost looks like scarring, but it's like it's not. Like it's just like he's just extremely strange looking.
For a moment I was like, is that Courtney Cox? Arquette? And I was like,
did you guys find, and we talked about this like when we first walked out of the movie, did you find it at all distracting that Longlegs was Nick Cage, and you could clearly tell at times listening to his voice that it was Nick Cage?
I think it's only because I knew that it was Nick Cage.
Yeah.
But like he's buried under so much stuff.
Yeah.
And like his behavior is so strange that it's like I said, it was like not even like human how he was.
Yeah.
So I get what you mean, but I think the only thing that I could lean into it being distracting is just the predetermined notion that it is Nick Cage. Like just knowing that.
To the average moviegoer, I probably don't think they would know that that's Nick Cage.
Yeah.
If it didn't say
it was Nick
So
Cage,
Matt, and I think you brought up a very good point. If they had concealed in the lead up to this movie that Nick Cage was in this movie, I think that would have made it more effective. If they had basically not revealed that he was playing the killer, if they had left that a mystery.
And then because then you're just like, who the fuck is
because then you're like, this what this person actually looks like?
Yeah.
Now I understand that is a very
2024.
That's a very hard thing to do with the internet and people that are on sets and all that. But like Seven, I know for a fact that it was never once mentioned in the marketing at all that Kevin Spacey was going to be in Seven.
Yeah, there's people that were willing to sign off the project if it got revealed.
Yeah. Yep. So and I honestly I think Nick Cage is going to get a lot of the recognition for his performance in this movie because he is so good when he's on screen in the limited time that he's in there. this is definitely Maika Monroe's movie.
Oh yeah,
She
100%.
she does some heavy lifting here. I thought she was very good. She has carved out a very nice little scream queen role for herself in the horror field. Starting out with It Follows and all the other movies that she's been in since then. She's been in quite a few horror movies. I don't remember them all off the top of my
Watcher,
head.
I think.
The Watcher, that was that Shudder movie that came out last year.
There was one that was actually not bad. She was in the woods.
Oh, yeah. The one that was on Paramount Plus.
Yeah,
I
that
know
was
the one you're
pretty
talking
good.
about.
I can't remember what it was called.
Yeah, it had the guy from White Lotus in it too as the boyfriend. Fuck, I forget the name of it.
Something S.
Something S.
No, it starts with
something with an S.
2 words. First word
It's an S
starts with
word.
an S. Signal or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Significant Other.
Significant other.
That's what it was.
Good
Yeah.
job.
So she was great. I thought her boss, Blair Underwood, awesome character. Very, very good. Good role. He was funny.
I've seen him I can't pick him out from a movie I've seen him in, but I've seen him in a bunch of shit.
According to his Wikipedia page, he was in LA Law for a long time. Let's see.
Ooh, Medea's Family Reunion.
Yep,
That's
there we
probably
go.
That's 100%. No, he has
Rules
to
of
have
Engagement, Deep Impact.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. He's just one of those guys that you recognize though. He's been in a bunch of stuff. He's been nominated for a couple of Golden Globes. I think a lot of there's not a lot of comedy in this movie, but a lot of the laughs that you do get are from him. I think his character.
Yeah, he has that kind of like Donald Glover vibe.
Yes.
It's like, I'm getting too old for this shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he kind of has that kind of like eye roll, like, oh, here we go.
Danny.
Like,
Danny.
Did I say Donald Glover? Danny
Yeah.
Glover.
Oh, Danny Glover.
Yeah, Donald Glover's the younger one, right?
Yeah. Like Danny Glover in the original Saw movie. Like that type of vibe for sure. I also think Alicia Witt was very, very good in this movie too.
Is she the mom?
She's the mom. She plays Maika Monroe's mom. She was fantastic.
Apparently she's in. Is she in an? What is she? Was she? Did I see that she's in Scream?
She's in one of the Screams.
The original.
She was in Twin Peaks. Let's see what else.
She's
done a bunch of stuff. Yeah, Dune. Very easy. Very easy on the eyes, by the way. A Massachusetts girl, also from Wishta.
Who was the girl that played the one at the mental institution? She would look.
I don't know.
So she was in Black Coat's Daughter. She was.
That's who that is.
She's Kiernan Shipka. She was Don Draper's daughter in Mad Men. So she's been in a couple of.
Yeah, her character was very creepy.
Yeah, and she's in it for also.
Yeah, that little dialogue she has with Maika Monroe in it was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it was heavy.
Yeah, big time crazy stuff. Oh God, I'm trying to think of where else we can go with this to like avoid spoilers here. I mean, we're almost at like 20 minutes.
Well, I mean, is it too early to go better or worse than?
No, why don't we do that?
Type of movies?
That's a very good.
Not for the year, but those type of movies.
Sure. So better or worse than Seven?
I mean,
no,
yeah,
Seven's not better than Seven.
Seven's better.
It's better or worse than Zodiac?
I don't know. It's too early to call. That's close.
I can't say.
Yeah, I'll have recency bias.
Yeah, I got to say that's it because. Well, I have to watch this a few more times.
Yeah.
Because I've seen Zodiac like a billion times.
I definitely want to see this again very soon.
Yeah.
I doubt I'll get to the theater to see it again. I would really love to. This is definitely something you should see in the theater, by the way. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
The sound in it is fantastic. It looks great.
The title cards, like the when it would have that just like blisteringly red screen.
Yeah.
And then you go to like pitch black after that. And like the way that the movie starts out and fades in, you go from that red and it slowly fades out to contrast to this like really, really intense black and white. And I was like, oh man, like this is like fucking up my eyes.
All right. What was I going to say? Better or worse than Prisoners?
I like this better than Prisoners.
I agree.
I think I like it's tighter. It's definitely more fast paced. Better than Prisoners? I don't think so. Oof. But it's close.
It's definitely it's not a blowout. It's very
different movies.
Yeah. Prisoners is way more horror than Prisoners.
Yeah, this is way more horror than I think than all of those.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, this actually has
much more horror.
A lot, clearly more horror. Yeah.
So obviously a season of television, but versus a movie. What did you prefer? True Detective first season or
True Detective is so
iconic,
so
classic.
I feel like I have to go True Detective there too.
You can't.
But I think the fact that it's being mentioned alongside these, it should tell you something. This is
going to be one of those things people talk about for a long time. This is going to be one of the classics.
Are there any other like occult, like crime, borderline horror movies that I'm missing here? I'm sure there's a bunch more that I can't.
I mean, I would almost compare this close to Fallen, although this is better than Fallen. The Fallen's one with Denzel.
Oh,
Washington,
Denzel.
John
yeah.
Goodman.
Yep.
Similar to that kind of.
That's a really good movie too.
I like that movie.
Yeah.
I'm drawing a blank.
What
I'm so
else?
tired, so my brain is
No, it's all right.
cooked.
Yeah, if we had that time to think, we're going off the cup. But yeah, Fallen, I think, is similar.
Yep.
Maybe.
This is already the sixth highest grossing horror film of 2024. By the way, Quiet Place Day One, running away in a landslide, 116 mil.
I've heard a lot of good things about that.
I have too, actually, which is very surprising.
I actually really want to see that.
Yeah. There's a couple of Bumhouse movies in here that I think, given the hype with this movie, it might actually pass some of those. So this could actually end up doing pretty well at the box office, and that is, I think, speaks to the quality of the movie and also the marketing.
Yeah, you're looking at, because like Imaginary's at 28 million.
Mhm.
That's total. We're at 22 on opening weekend.
Yeah,
for this.
that's
This is gonna
insane,
this is gonna get there because it's gonna get word of mouth.
Yeah.
This is
And
going to get
the
huge.
marketing
word
is a
of mouth.
huge thing that they did. Neon is great with that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
They I remember earlier this year being like, we got a kind of a good little list of movies coming out with Immaculate, this, and then Cuckoo
Yeah.
as well. So those three, like, that's a solid lineup of horror movies to come
What
out.
did
in one year.
Maxine reel in so far?
Maxine, not so much. 11.7 million. That came out on July 5th, so it's been a couple of weeks. I was telling Andrew before you got to the theater, Matt, that I was really debating if we had enough time to be able to do like
dude, I
a
wish.
back-to-back double feature.
It makes for a long
still come
day.
podcast. I know. That
I
would
don't
be
think
really
we would have
hard.
been able to. I would have been able to do one or the other, like
Yeah.
watch both.
Yeah.
Because then it would have been too many. I would have been like confused. So I'd been like, wait, we just
Yeah.
unless you did like
Yeah.
half episode for Maxine, half
Yeah.
for.
Yeah. So I guess where would this rank for you guys amongst the horror movies that you've seen
I should probably log that in right now.
this year?
I forgot to. It's one or two.
One or two? So I mean,
It's this or Late Night.
I would say, yeah. Did you like this one better than Late Night with the Devil?
I think it's gonna be. I have to. I don't know. I have to watch Late Night with the Devil again, and I have to watch this again. These both are gonna get that movie and this movie are gonna get one or two more watches this year. 'Cause I have to.
Gentlemen, better or worse than Eczema?
Eczema.
Yeah, the Exuma or
Eczema.
whatever.
That was like having
Eczema.
eczema.
not this. Yeah, this movie is better than having an egg in the skin disease. Yes, I pronounced it incorrectly. Pardon me.
You know what? I think I'm gonna. I
Eczema.
think this is gonna go to the top of my list.
Yeah.
I think this is better than Eczema.
I'm gonna
Eczema.
I still need to watch that. This is gonna go over Late Night with the Devil for
Like
me.
Eczema. I haven't seen that one yet. What is that
Eczema.
about?
Exuma. Okay. Cool. Yeah. So I think this is. I would be very shocked if this did not end up towards the top of my list at the end of this year.
Yeah.
Oh God. I'm trying not to let recency bias step in here, but I think I like this a little bit better than Late Night with the Devil.
Me too.
I think I do.
Late Night with the Devil's sick and it's
Close.
fun, and but this
Yeah.
I like that this is, as even though it does kind of go off the rails with its the supernatural stuff kind of comes into play. Like
Yep.
this still is more grounded. It's a scarier movie, in my opinion.
Okay.
Nick Cage
Fair.
is just a fiend.
A maniac.
Yeah.
An absolute maniac. Yeah, he's definitely going to be talked about, for among the performances, I think, for 2024 of the year, I should say. Was there anything you guys didn't like about this movie? I'm kind of giving it a fucking reach around
Well,
for the last 20 minutes here. Is there anything
So it's
left you
it's
wanting
gonna
more?
take another rewatch.
Hmm.
It could just be I could be missing something, or it could just be just like beautiful chaos, beautiful nonsense. It could just be nonsense.
Yeah.
Like a nonsensical movie, which I'm fine with.
Mhm.
I don't know, because there's a lot of stuff that goes on.
Yeah, I don't really.
I don't
know.
actually know
was
what I was
confused.
watching. Like, it's kind of confusing. That's why it needs another rewatch. But
Yeah.
it could also just be nonsense
Mhm.
for the sake of just the movie.
The other thing too is like we could be overthinking it, and it could just be laid out really plain and simply.
Yeah.
Which I'd like to get into that.
Yeah.
My thing is that it was a bit predictable.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I kind of called a piece of the ending pretty early on.
me too.
Yeah.
Which we can go into that
Yeah.
soon. And that's not a bad thing, because the way it did play out wasn't how I expected. You know what I mean? But I knew like a piece of the puzzle ahead of time. Just I kind of was getting that
I think I know the
assumption.
puzzle piece that you're talking about.
I just don't want to say it out loud yet, but
yeah.
but like it didn't exactly. It still was different enough of like how it played into the plot. You know what I mean? Like how it all actually unfolds and went down and how it works.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where it kind of still has the benefit. But that'd be my only thing. The other thing too, I kind of wish that Maika Monroe had like a character arc. She kind of like fucking just kind of stays the same throughout the whole movie. Like she never gets very excitable or anything.
I don't think it's possible for her based off of factors that we're going to talk about at some point.
She just seems very cold the whole
which
time.
You can kind of
It also kind of this is kind of a spoiler to say, so I won't say it.
That's why I'm waiting, because I'm like, if I say this, it's not going to be a spoiler.
All right, so I think as we've been trying to say for the last 20-ish minutes, this is absolutely worth your fucking time. Go see Longlegs. If you haven't seen it yet, stop here, come back to us. We'll be here. This movie fucking rocks, and it is one of the few movies that I can remember in recent memory that the hype has not let me down. All right, why don't we take a quick little break here, pause 90 seconds for a word from our quote-unquote sponsors, and we'll be right back. Spoiler alert for Longlegs. Talk to you soon.
It's official. The critics' decision is in.
Spooky World is spectacular.
Enter the new black hole.
If you dare.
Or the new horror House of Wax. This year, don't miss the real Jason, Bobby Pickett, or Alice Cooper. Phone the 24-hour Spooky World hotline. 508-838-0200. That's 508-838-0200. Spooky World is just west of Boston and haunts every night from October 1st till November 1st. If you had the nerve, you'd phone 508-838-0200.
It's America's horror theme park. Spooky World. Sleepy Clovers.
Alive! It's alive! It's alive!
The new face of evil is going to scare you to death. Barrett's Haunted Mansion. It's killer this year. Then be next door to the Abington Ale House. Barrett's Haunted Mansion. Eat, drink, and be scary. Go to bhmansion.com.
Okay, we're back. You have been warned. All spoilers for Longlegs are on the table here. Yeah, so I was gonna say the thing that I was thinking about saying that was kind of a nitpick for me. And again, I need to see it again because I'm there's so many thoughts that I have about this movie, but it kind of just ends. Also,
Yes, I know. I was kind of like, as the ending was happening, I was like, "Oh, come on, don't be." Give me 10 more minutes of like, just something after.
The aftermath. Like, it just ends. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more about what happened after the entire plot unfolded at the last murder scene. I would have loved to have known more about that.
And also,
was
is
there
he
to know?
actually still alive?
I think he had to have been dead.
He's dead. I think she shot him right in the head. No, well, maybe not.
No, he smashed his own
Smashed his
face.
face.
Oh, you're talking about Longlegs.
So are they potentially? I hope they aren't. But could they be setting this up for a second one?
I don't think so.
I don't.
If it does
if they
really
do-
well, I mean, I don't think this is the type of movie that needs a sequel.
I don't think
No.
it's the type of
So
production
yeah,
company
he's
to do it
he's
either.
100% dead.
Okay.
I think. I mean, maybe he's not, but either way, no, I think he is because they left the room and he's like, he's fucking dead.
Oh yeah, I was
Everything's
saying
over. This
the
is
amount
it.
of
Yeah, so
You fucked it.
you fucking
Yeah, the amount of
screw the
yelling
pooch.
that Agent Carter did at Harker after that whole interaction. Obviously, we're talking about the scene where kind of like one of the scenes of the movie, I would say, like one of the most memorable scenes. Like I would say it's like up there with like Batman interrogating Heath Ledger in the Dark Knight type thing, like that type of interaction. Fucking dope. But obviously Maika Monroe's character is trying to find out more information from Nick Cage's character, and he proceeds to fucking say "Hail Satan" and then bash his fucking face into the table several times and essentially kill himself. It was insane.
How many birthday girls were there? Was there 8? Was it 8? Because then I'm thinking Daddy Longlegs, 8 legs. He's the daddy of the little baby spy. I just thought because I kept calling you guys Daddy Longlegs.
That's a good point.
That's let me see.
I did get really interested when she started looking into the Satanic Bible
Yeah.
and kind of piecing together the dates on the calendar with the shape of
I wish we had.
whatever it
I
was.
wish we knew what
symbol.
this said.
Right?
Because we know what the S was the first one. Like, 'cause it
Yeah.
was like C of the something when she figured it out.
Yeah. So what Andrew's referring to is I have the latest issue of Fangoria in front of us here, and unfortunately, like I said, we are like within an hour we just saw we got out of seeing this movie. I know there's a lot of stuff on Longlegs in the latest issue of Fangoria. It's on the cover. I really can't wait to read some more about. But I don't know how much spoilery stuff there is. And it's probably, I know Oz Perkins is interviewed, so I don't know if they really want to get into a lot about like the plot and all that stuff.
I doubt
it's
it
just like
because
inspiration for the movie.
I
Yeah, this
got
came
it.
out before
Yeah.
the movie.
Yeah.
Like, I got this issue like what 2 weeks ago.
I
Maybe.
got it a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Have you had a chance to thumb through anything
Oh,
that
yeah.
was in there? Yeah.
Yep.
Is it did you read the Longlegs stuff?
No, because
No.
I did. I didn't want to take the chance of
Okay.
having anything get spoiled.
Fair. That's kind of how I was looking at it too. So I'm going to have my nose in this later on. Trying to figure out what's going on. So what did you guys think about the twist with Harker's mother being Longlegs' accomplice?
That's what I kind of was feeling was going to be. the
As
case.
soon as you actually met
See
her,
her, yeah.
and see her, and then Micah Monroe's character Lee Harker is hanging out at the door,
She
and I'm
can't
like,
open it.
that's where he is. He's downstairs in
Yeah.
that basement.
Yeah.
Just because that whole house reminded me of Buffalo Bill's house.
But he
same
wasn't
thing.
down in the basement.
Wasn't that where he
No,
was?
because remember she wakes up. So,
In that-
his
but
spot,
that's-
but then
but
she
that's
takes
his-
the car and goes
but
back to her
that's
mom's house.
his base. Wait, what?
No. He was staying in the mom's basement, and then his car was at the mom's house, and he drove the car from the mom's house to that birthday party at the final murder.
No, she did.
No, she did.
No,
He
she
was
did.
gone.
No, I'm
Mother.
saying no, she did. I'm
The
saying
mother did. Yeah.
the mother.
No,
wait, hold
Micah
on a
Monroe
second.
did.
Hold on. Wait a second.
Micah Monroe drove his car
From somewhere.
from
back to her-
their house because remember she was there when her mom kills that lady with the shotgun.
Oh, that's
and then
right.
she
that
loses
happens
her mom and
after.
she fucking.
Yeah, my bad.
So he was in that basement.
That's how I interpreted it too. That
I
he was
think.
staying in the mom's house
So
because
that's what I thought. That was kind of like they gave that away. I thought
Yeah.
kind of.
and when she was making her mom food when she went to go visit her and she was trying to open that door
she was
and it was
listening,
locked.
and I was like, he's in.
yeah, it had to. That's so like the first conversation that she had on the phone with her mom, again, who's played by Alicia Witt, I was like, there's something
Something's
weird
wrong with this
here.
lady,
Yeah,
yeah.
there's something strange going on. There's more to the story here, and
But
I
plus,
kind
you
of
take the fact that he left her that letter too.
yeah,
That he figured out, which is like, I'm gonna cut off your mom's milk tits or something.
it's
Yeah.
fucking demented
It's like-
shit.
I was like, the fuck does that letter say? I wish I knew exactly what I can't remember what the whole thing said.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was definitely that was kind of a spoiler that they I don't know. It just seemed so I don't know, it was intentional that they made it that obvious.
yeah, maybe. I mean, but that's also why I said that we should cut out that part, the Wikipedia summary, which says that there's a personal connection to the FBI agent, the killer, which I feel like that's a fucking spoiler right
Yeah.
there. Like, that
Oh
is
yeah,
a-
that so because her intuition of knowing where he
Yeah.
is because the doll that she had made by this doll maker has that thing in its head. That's the part that's
Yeah.
like, what are we doing? Like, what
Yeah.
is that? I'm curious to see like to wait and kind of find out like are there any weird coincidences or like things that we're missing? Like why I think a second watch would be because there's a lot to unravel with the doll maker shit.
I'm
Yeah.
curious to see like when you watch back what stuff you can pick up on, like
Yeah.
that
Oh.
you just in plain sight wouldn't understand what it was. You know what I mean?
yeah, and there's a lot.
The
Excuse me.
doll thing is
Yeah.
fucking.
That was
nuts,
creepy as
dude.
fuck. I
Yeah.
love that whole.
I did too, but I don't.
Yeah.
It's very confusing.
It is because it's like how does so the thing that he puts in like does he cast some
Well,
spell from
yeah,
the devil?
I
on
guess
them?
so.
Like,
Yeah.
And what were the metal balls that he put? Like
that was their
That's-
brain. That's how he controlled them to do what he
I'm
wanted.
like, what the fuck are they? Like how? Like
well,
yeah,
that's the
That's
thing.
what I mean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like,
right? Like-
I would like some explanation on that, but that's what I'm saying. Like, is this just nonsense and it's just movie because of the sake of movie or
Yeah.
it's whatever?
It
Yeah,
could.
yeah.
This could be. I mean, I'm not well versed in Satanism. I don't know if perhaps this is something that is true to that religion, where there is something like that.
It very well.
You
could
know what
be,
I
but-
mean? Like there's
Yep.
like certain objects made of certain materials that are able to be kind of cast upon and used.
Yep.
That could be exactly what Oz Perkins is doing, and he's
Yeah.
just using actual factual things.
Well,
Yeah,
dolls are
actual
used
factual.
in voodoo and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like he even mentioned
The
So,
dolls
yeah.
are creepy as hell.
dolls are
But once
the dolls
once
were very creepy, and that was definitely something I wanted to leave out of the spoiler-free section because you can see them in some of the trailers and stuff, but I
But you
feel
don't
like
really know
that's-
what it
Yeah,
is.
you don't know what
Yeah.
it is. If it's like
You
a
just think it's
dream
some
thing,
doll.
and like I thought
Doll's
some of the
eyes.
creepiest shit in the whole movie. There's a lot happening in the background of this movie too, like satanic flashes of demons and the
Mhm.
devil, that
Mhm.
type of thing. I want to rewatch the movie so to catch more of that shit
Yeah.
because there was a few of them that I definitely caught. And then also the stuff with the dolls when they were covered in the black veil and
The
you could see the eyes
eyes glow.
lit up underneath
Yeah.
the veil. That was pretty fucking creepy. I
This-
also,
yeah,
I was,
it's-
go ahead, Matt. I was gonna.
I was just say, like, yeah, that whole thing, because when she interviews that girl in the mental institution,
Yes.
and she had just come to from being like catatonic, and like coincidentally that night before they had found the doll and uncovered it and like woke it up basically or whatever. And they you get that flashback where, because this is what was interesting, is when he's like, oh yeah, it's just a metal ball, but he's like, but check this out, and he uses like some sort of like ultrasound thing on it, and you get this like weird kind of like, it almost sounds like something that needed to be played in reverse or something. Maika Monroe starts having these like visions. She sees like snakes and and then you get this full vision of like him with that doll, calling it like, what's its name, Clarabelle or something?
Oh, Annabelle.
Carrie Ann or something like that. The girl's name.
In
Clara Rain or Clara
Carrie Ann Camera.
Carrie Ann. So
Yes.
and he calls the doll that and puts the black sheet over it and the eyes glow. And then the next scene you have that interview where she's like, oh, like it feels like I just woke up from the longest dream of like the blackest darkness.
Interesting.
And so that's when I'm like, okay, so these dolls have something to do with these children.
Well, that's how they communicate too, because for the longest time, Maika Monroe's having like these like someone's talking to her in her head, and that's how I think that's how he communicates with them in order to get them to kill like the whole, because it's the doll is communicating with not just the daughter, with the doll's made after, but also the other members of the family.
Yeah,
which is weird. Which I don't understand that. Also, the number like why 14? Why is I'm interested to see
must
like,
be
what
some
the
sort of
reason
significance
that
to it.
is.
Yeah. I thought it was a good decision to set this movie in the 90s.
Yeah.
Because I think that
I was so confused when this fucking movie took place.
He was like, why is Bill Clinton? I'm like, I think he's the president.
Yeah.
I'm like, I thought this movie took place in like the 70s.
Well, so the opening scene, by the way,
70s.
the cold open,
Phenomenal.
Yeah, very creepy.
Excellent. That's in the 70s. I know the killer is working throughout the 70s, 80s, and the 90s, so it can kind of be confusing at times. But the main story takes place in the 90s, which was like the height or like the kind of towards the end of the satanic panic thing in the United States, which I think obviously that draws on this, especially when she's like flipping through like the microfilm of like all the satanic, occult articles.
Yeah,
and stuff.
it's
She's
just
looking through that.
The only thing, like, there's that picture of Bill Clinton in Carter's office, and I know that like Bill Clinton, like I'm pretty sure he worked in the FBI and everything before he became
he might have
president.
Did he?
Yeah.
Well, I think
so.
they have the picture of the president up in any federal
do
building.
they?
They do,
That
because
makes
in
sense.
every episode of the X-Files, when Mulder and Scully go into Skinner's office, there's a picture of the president up behind
It's interesting.
him.
They use that as a way to kind of like dictate the time, because there's a scene when it's Clarabelle's family and they have a picture of Nixon.
Yeah, I saw that too. Yeah. So, little background details. Definitely, for sure.
But it did threw me off.
They never come out and tell you what year it is.
I was like, Andrew, what's up with the picture of Bill Clinton? Dude? I was like, he looks like he would be. I was like, he looks like he would be the president in this time. And you're like, he's like, yeah, dude.
Agent Carter just loves fucking Bill Clinton. Just loves the saxophone smoothness and the.
And he's like, yeah, he was the president.
That's awesome.
I thought he was Longlegs.
I just ate through like the timeline.
They did.
I really
a lot of times
know.
they'll give you a year. They only give you the year on like newspaper articles.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
They don't actually tell you what year it is.
See, I love period piece kind of stuff like this. Like, I feel like if you had the added element of technology in this story, it probably would have made it worse. I think it is definitely.
Well, that's when serial killer stuff works best
Because
when you get that they get that freedom of not having it. It makes they're harder to catch. So
because I mean, I'm sure there still are serial killers now, but it's probably a lot harder.
Right.
Obviously.
Yeah, for sure.
forensics and everything.
It's the only thing stopping me.
Also, by the way, Matt, once you've seen Black Coat's Daughter, get back to me on this. Andrew, I wouldn't be surprised, by the way, based on some of the visuals and the demonic stuff in the Black Coat's Daughter and in this movie, if Black Coat's Daughter and Longlegs took place in like the same
time frame.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Because it took place in the 70s.
Yeah.
Well, Black Coat's Daughter did, right?
That's a good question.
Don't spoil it.
It's a good question. Yeah, I won't spoil it for Matt, but very similar vibes.
Yeah, you can tell it's
the camera work is very similar, and some of the visuals, like the stuff you see in both the movies, you're like, wow, that looks kind of really a lot like what I'm seeing.
He's kind of one of those, like this definitely puts him on the fucking map, because he's been lurking around in the shadows for a bit now, and now he's
let's talk about Oz Perkins a little bit here. So Oz Perkins, he is 50 years old.
Wow. You can definitely see the influence too from Psycho on.
Oh yeah. So he is obviously the son of Anthony Perkins, which obviously the guy from Psycho, which is awesome. I definitely think this is a talented guy and not strictly a nepo baby situation.
He was this. That was Anthony Perkins from Psycho.
Oh yeah,
different Anthony Perkins.
Nope. He's Anthony Perkins from Psycho's son, I believe. I'm almost.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Norman Bates and Alfred
Oh,
Hitchcock's
okay.
Psycho. That's just that's a weird photo of Anthony Perkins. Like hippie Anthony Perkins.
Oh,
Almost,
I was like,
yeah,
looks
on his
like-
Wikipedia page.
Somebody who's a server, bruh.
Yeah. But he looks just like
Yeah,
him.
well,
Like,
that's the thing. He does look like
yeah,
him.
it looks just like him. So I mean, obviously, Blackcoat's Daughter we've talked about. He's also directed.
I kind of want to watch the other two.
I Am the Pretty Thing That Lives in the House from 2016. I have not seen that. That is a 2016 gothic supernatural horror film written and directed by Oz Perkins. So he writes and directs all his shit mostly.
Which is I
Yep.
always
I give
appreciate
props. To that.
Gretel and Hansel he directed. He did not write. I've actually heard that is not bad, believe it or not. Longlegs, which he wrote and directed, and then he also wrote and directed a movie coming out next year called The Monkey, which is an
that's a Stephen
adaptation
King.
of a Stephen King story.
Oh, that's right.
Yep, and I believe that is going to be produced by James Wan. Yeah, it's produced by James Wan, written and directed by Oz Perkins. Hopefully that's a banger. That's actually a really good, really short Stephen King story. So I'll be interested to see what they do with that.
That's
I think I read something where Stephen King was like light. I think he likes the way it's headed.
Yeah,
I think I saw something because I remember reading something about that vaguely.
I also saw it. Stephen King loved this movie too. By the way, Longlegs. He was a big fan of this and Max.
I also
Yeah.
got to say, I feel like Stephen King kind of likes everything. Very rarely does he like this.
He doesn't. He doesn't. He only.
Unless it's his own movie.
Yeah, he only
Someone
talks
else
about
doesn't
stuff,
really
and if he only talks about stuff negatively, if it's an adaptation of his
Yeah.
stuff, and he usually only speaks up on X or Twitter, whatever the fuck you want to call it, when he has something good to say about it,
Which is nice. I kind of like that.
Yeah, so good on him. Shit, yeah, I feel like it's just this is like the pro and con of doing this podcast directly after seeing the movie is that I feel like there's so much more that I will think of that I want to say about it.
This is why I think
You know,
what's good about this is definitely going to be on our final top 10 list.
Yeah.
Obviously, we could even give it like 15 minutes down the road when we've all rewatched it again because I think
it's worth that. Yeah, for sure. Because I guarantee whatever episode we record next, we're probably going to have more to say about it.
I think you pop a
Learn
couple
a little
edibles,
bit more.
watch this one again. You're gonna be like, oh my god!
Yeah, right?
Well, clearly the whole thing was targeted at Carter
Yeah.
and his daughter.
Yeah.
On her birthday being the 14th, and Harker was like the catalyst to put them two together, unbeknownst to her.
Yep.
You know what I mean? She was like a pawn
Yeah.
in moving that operation along, and
Oh, because wait a minute. When she's talking to Carter's daughter on the bed, she said, "Did you always want to be?" No, she said, "I want to be an actor when I was younger." I wonder,
Mhm.
like, what changed her from being an actor? Was it her mom and what's his face, Longlegs,
yeah, they influenced
pushing her into the FBI? Like, there's a lot of things that
Yeah.
could have, like, because to be in that place in time and to be moved up,
Mm.
which he definitely helped with by giving her the code.
Yeah.
So he intentionally did that so that she would be noticed
Mhm.
by Carter. So yeah, he definitely had an
Yeah.
influence. Just how deep does it go?
Right.
Was it just a matter of circumstance because she was there, or was it?
Yeah.
Was he planning?
I
this
think
for
it was all groomed
years.
and planted
Yeah, it was,
for
it was,
her to
it was
be.
like
Yeah.
suggestion.
Did Carter do?
Power of suggestion.
Yeah. Was it just? I mean, because that is the biggest fuck you if you're a serial killer
Mm.
to the head agent of the FBI.
Yeah, you make him try to kill his whole family.
Yeah.
Just thinking about this more and more now with the ending and how we were talking about how it kind of just ends at that last murder scene, and obviously Harker is essentially saves Agent Carter's daughter, and then it just
See, I think
fades
I'm
to
fine
black.
with that.
Well, no,
What-
then you get that little Nick Cage.
the Nick
scene
Cage thing
again.
saying
Yeah.
"Hail Satan," right? So I forgot about
With
that.
the wink and the smooch.
Mhm,
Yeah,
that was
like,
cool. That was a cool way to end it. But with the way that her mom explained the circumstances of why they were assisting him to her, right? That essentially all hell was going to break loose if they did not help him carry out his plan. And there is clearly a lot of supernatural stuff going on here. I would have liked to have seen what hell breaking loose would have looked like
Yeah.
if there was some other shoe to drop, like if the devil himself was actually like in on this whole thing, or some demon or something.
But
like
I think
you
that
know,
would have it would have made it would have, because that's just, it wasn't what that movie was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think so. It sticks to its guns which I can appreciate. Like
Yeah.
when we talked about In a Violent Nature, the whole first, 4/5 of the movie are in this certain way, and then the ending is just totally different. So it kind of this was like, this is what it is. It doesn't, because even though it has that supernatural satanic thing going on, it's still very grounded.
Yeah.
It's not ridiculous. There's no
you don't
know what I mean?
It doesn't seem ridiculous because I feel like they set it up so well that even though you're like, it's a fucking doll convincing these people to murder themselves, but it's kind of, it doesn't seem, like you said, it doesn't seem
the scene when she
line.
finds the pictures is when it all comes together. That you get a really good jump scare. And was that the one that you were talking about?
Sorry, which one?
When she's looking through the pictures and she finds the one.
Yes.
And she has that little like fucking
Yeah.
She has her fucking Will Graham moment or whatever.
Yeah. That was
What else was it?
that was a good jump scare. There was one other one too that I actually was like, ooh, okay.
Even like when he's in the interview room and he randomly like turns his head and just starts talking differently, and like that, I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Like he's very unpredictable when like he's talking. I can't get over the way he looks.
His clothes were fantastic too. The wardrobe when he's standing waiting for the bus. And I'm like, what are you wearing?
Well, there's something that's weird too, because they keep going back to that opening scene where it's in front of their White House in the snow. He's very pale. He's got kind of whitish hair. He's wearing this like washed out white denim Dan Canadian jumpsuit.
Yep.
But his hands are very pink and very like, they look like they're someone else's hands.
He looks like he looks like a doll.
Yeah,
yeah,
he
you know what?
sculpted his
That's
own
true.
self. Maybe he's a doll being controlled by. He's Latin Longlegs, and there's Daddy Longlegs.
Well, I think when he's
Daddy
constantly,
Longlegs behind the whole thing.
when he's constantly referring to the man downstairs, I
That's
agree
him.
that's the Satan. I think
That's
it's
Satan.
Satan.
Oh,
yeah.
But the other thing too that I found interesting, which is kind of, I feel like could be overlooked scene, but it just shows you the power of that ball, is when it's just the way that the guy doing like the, I don't know, he's basically doing an autopsy on a doll.
Yeah.
The guy,
That was weird.
That was weird for starters.
Yeah.
And he was like,
he was so fucking
stoked on it.
about it. He's like, this doll fucking rocks. I'm like,
Yeah.
you usually open up like you're not like a doll maker aficionado. Like you're basically just like a coroner who does like autopsies.
How would this medical professional have such proficient knowledge on the art of doll making?
Yeah,
Like,
he was like, this doll's the best doll I've ever seen. I look at this.
It's very creepy.
I was like, why does he know so much about
as soon as you
dolls?
guys leave, I'm having sex with this fucking
that doll when
Yeah.
they pull it out of the floor. I
That
was
was
like,
weird.
oh,
That was creepy as fuck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, we're getting into something that's going to be way off.
Unless I'm
from what
wrong,
I
and that
thought.
guy was like more of a doll expert than we know. He wasn't actually
Apparently he was.
a coroner
So
or doing autopsies, or that's the power from the ball. Is just like, because you can see his eyes light up, and he's like,
Maybe, you know what?
Maybe that's what it is.
Maybe that's an idea.
I don't know. That would seem just weird to me. It's like, what is going on?
What'd you guys think of all the biblical references? I thought those were pretty cool. Obviously implying potentially a higher power behind all the killings. Thought that was some cool stuff.
yeah,
Cool element
Book
they
of
threw in there.
Revelation.
Yep.
Yeah.
Revelations.
let's
It's
see.
singular.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It almost. Did you ever watch The Outsider?
Yeah. the
So
Stephen
you know
King
like
show.
Holly
it's great.
Gibney.
Actually, Maika Monroe reminded
Yeah,
me
very
a lot of
similar
You know what
to
I
her,
mean? Like she
yeah.
kind of has like almost that like on the spectrum kind of like
I thought the same thing when I was
level, like
watching.
you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
where she's just so incredibly intelligent, but the social skills are just
Not
like
there.
kind of
Gone,
something's off.
non-existent.
Yeah. I was thinking of that, especially with that scene, like that kind of like supremely particular correction of that. Like I was like this. There's some.
Yeah.
What is up with this chick? Like.
Revelation 13:1, and they stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his 10 horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy.
It's also in 7.
Yes, it is.
It's a very common. If you're gonna talk like Revelation
Mhm.
is almost overused in
Horror movies,
Horror
because
movies?
it's scary. It
scary,
is
yeah.
scary,
and
Sure,
I'm
yeah,
assuming
yeah.
like satanic cults or whatever probably like that book a lot.
So I'm thumbing through the.
I don't think they like the Bible at all.
No,
but
they probably don't
No.
actually. So why would he be reciting that?
I don't know, because it has to do with the beast. Like he is
Yeah.
referring to himself as the beast.
That's what I'm saying though. So
Yeah.
like these people are satanic and they have their own Bible.
But
The Bible is
he's
Satan.
like, I'm the bad guy from your fairy tale story that you were taught as a
Yeah,
child.
he's
You know
the-
what I mean? Like
he's the wolf and
the big bad wolf.
big bad
yeah.
wolf, because she says the big bad wolf ain't coming here.
I like that it kept going back to that opening scene, and you kept getting like a little bit more of the conversation.
Yeah.
And then like the mom comes out being like, "Who are you? Like, what are you doing?" And then you find out like I was saying earlier, there's this big like expedition dump in the middle of towards the end of the second act, where she is explaining that this guy he was going to kill her.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Well, you know what? If I'll spare you and your daughter, but you're going to kill everyone for me then."
Yeah.
What's that other movie that I'm thinking of? I think we've talked about this before. Similar movie where it's like his 18th birthday, and the mom's like, "You can't take him yet." And his fingernails are growing. He's cutting his toenails all the time. They're growing way too fast, way too long. And she's like, tells the devil, like, "I'll do anything, just don't take him," or whatever. Like, and no, but then the devil comes for on his 18th birthday. We've talked about this movie, and I can't remember.
I know. I feel like I know what you're talking about, but it just
she like looks under his bed.
The parts of it that you're using are very strange.
Okay, no. So underneath his bed is like all his toenail clippings because he's growing these like long toenails. He's like, "I don't know what's happening, Mom." And then on his 18th birthday,
into the devil.
yeah, is this part of like an anthology?
I don't think so.
I can't figure out what fucking movie it is, and I've mentioned it twice on the pod, and both times you guys are like, "I don't know what the fuck you're talking about."
This weird toenail story.
No, it's always the toenails. Oh, because that's the part that
Google it.
What is it? No one's gonna Google. That's a tough thing to Google.
Just like, what's the movie?
Giant, my toenails
18th
keep
birthday
growing.
where
18th birthday toenails keep.
all you're
growing.
gonna need is a keyword.
Toenails. That's the keyword.
Yep. So I'm thumbing through. Matt, I'll take one there too. Yep. Thumbing through the trivia section of the Longlegs IMDb page. See, here's something that I did not catch upon first viewing, and I'm reading about it now, but I would certainly look for it upon second viewing, and that is the fact. So when Lee enters her mother's house near the end of the film, all three hands on the clock over the archway have been set to 6.
I didn't notice that.
Didn't notice that. I always wonder who writes these trivia pieces on IMDb.
I think it's just random people.
Random peoples. I know you have to have an IMDb account to do it.
Yeah, you gotta be. Yeah.
Notably, Ruth has either done this intentionally or there's some supernatural forces at play because the ending theme music for The Price is Right is playing on Ruth's television. The Price is Right airs at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8 a.m. Pacific Time, with the scene taking place in Oregon. This would have places the time of Lee's entry into the house right before 9 o'clock in the morning. So, yeah, it definitely should not have been at 666. Interesting. What do you guys think of the actual name of Longlegs himself? Dale Ferdinand Cobble.
It's just kind of coincidental and random, but it creeped me out for a minute because Layla has these little toy horses and she keeps naming them Cobble out of like nowhere. We don't know where like that came from.
Weird.
She's like, "Oh, it's Cobble." I think she's thinking of the noise that it makes when they run.
Yes.
I hope. So, but I'm gonna have to tell Sarah that. I'm like, you want to know what that Nick Cage's character's name? Cobble.
Cobble, baby.
But I thought it was interesting. Yeah,
interesting stuff. I think it's always funny to see what they come up with for names for these actual killers here, as opposed to just like John Doe, which was, I mean, obviously part of the point of that character.
So the other thing that this kind of reminded me of was Sinister.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that
because, like, obviously, you know, if you haven't seen Sinister, spoiler alert, but you find out that all the killings of these families are being done by the kids, but it's something driving them to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it kind of gave me that like vibe where it's like you're getting these like kind of little snapback glimpses of like these families getting murdered. And it just I was like, oh, this is almost like a Sinister vibe a little bit. So it kind of borrows a little bit. I can certainly
see that. Andrew, I know you're a big Sinister guy. You agree with that point?
Can you say it one more time? I was too busy trying to
like how you get those snapbacks of like the families killing each other, but like in Sinister, how it ends up being the children that are
killing them. Yeah, can you they're like that is actually
a driving force.
It's very
yeah.
That's a link.
It's crazy how the story kind of constructed though. I found it very enjoyable when you do get. I'm not always a fan of just like expedition dumps.
Yeah.
Just sometimes it's just like, okay, it's like lazy, but
yeah,
the way it all played out and like you're seeing that they're just bringing you, he's making these dolls with some sort of evil thing in it, and it's being brought into people's houses, invited, being like, oh, you won this gift from the church.
Yeah.
And then it just like that, like so quickly like just turns them, and you know what I mean. So it's crazy how it worked out, but it's a fucking what a bizarre movie.
Seriously, it is bizarre. That is for sure.
This is 100% like
what an original,
very rewatchable movie.
Yeah, for sure. But like, it's a very like standout movie this year. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just a very different concept. Well, it borrows from other things for sure. It's very, very original.
It borrows from a lot of different sources, but it does so in its way that it's
soundtrack was very good.
In the way that you don't go, oh, this is a ripoff. Oh,
I loved the opening credits. With
Yeah,
that big red screen and that, like, I don't know what the song was off the top of my head, but like you get this kind of gritty like rock song sort of from like the 70s or something.
I can't even remember the song that was playing.
I don't know what it is, but it just kind of set this tone.
Wasn't the same movie that was playing at the end, was it? No,
it was a different one. The one at the end, I definitely know.
that's a T-Rex song.
Yeah.
They gave a T-Rex. There was a T-Rex line at the beginning.
Yeah.
Lyric. Should I say?
But yeah, no, I thought that I always love when a movie has good opening credits, especially when they have a cool soundtrack and stuff.
You have a cool soundtrack, good opening credits, and a great cold open. I was immediately, I don't want to say full mast from get, but I was
pumped. Like it gets you fired up. You're like,
that's exactly okay. That makes me go, I have high hopes for this movie, and you really
it sets a cool tone. Like, I mean, I think I can't imagine there's a movie that has a better cold open and opening credit sequence than the Dawn of the Dead remake. That might be the best of all time.
It's a really good one.
But like when you have that kind of setup where it's like you get this really creepy opening cold open, and then you get this like just like in your fucking face red on the screen.
Yeah.
And with just these like really like just like black bold letters for all the credits, and you just have a cool song.
Yeah.
Ripping, and you're like, fuck. And like the screen, because it starts off in that weird aspect ratio where the screen's really small.
Yeah.
It almost looks like you're watching like an old home video. And then it just slowly like widens out to the full screen. It was just, I love that kind of stuff.
An influence of him just like you can definitely see his influence is more 70s, 80s.
Well,
60s
it's the satanic
horror, the
thing
satanic theme too that you get going on. So, because I feel like Black Coat's Daughter is very similarly, it's extremely similarly shot, and you get that same vibe in that movie as well, which is really good. You would love that one.
I feel like there's also, I don't think there was a moment in this movie where there wasn't music. I think there's constantly has some sort of at least like droning thing in the background.
Yeah.
So.
And by the way, so I was looking it up. The song, it's one of the songs that you would definitely know, listener, you would know if you heard, but it's "Get It On, Bang It Gong" by T-Rex. That's the song.
Get it on, bang it gong.
They obviously have that in like the opening of the movie, like the lyrics, and then they play it over the end credits, which the end credits, by the way, scroll upside down.
Yeah.
You guys notice that?
I actually didn't.
Yeah. No, they scroll upside down.
I immediately went to my phone to look at my parlay.
Love it. Oh, fuck. Beautiful.
The Red Sox did win. So.
Oh, good. That's big win.
Oh, goody.
So I figured out the movie, and it took a lot. And this is not. It's called Joshua.
This is the Toenails
2007.
movie.
It has Vera Farmiga.
Yeah.
And Sam Rockwell in it. The kid, I don't know who he is, but
I can think of like the cover off the top of my head.
It's just a boy sitting at a table, basically. I was like, oh yeah, or a picture of him, like in the background.
Okay, all right. So I've never seen that
not
movie.
A bad movie, and I was like, why do I keep having that fucking pop into my head? And I was like, it's very like Omen-like, very similar.
Interesting.
Yeah, with the toenails.
Toenails. The
atonal toenails.
Atonal toenails. By the way, this is the biggest opening for a neon movie ever.
Nice.
Yep.
That's sick. Cuckoo looks good.
Yeah, so I would say
that trailer was actually really cool, and it didn't give a lot away.
Oh, I'd seen that before. I think
I had too, but seeing it on a big screen is much better than an iPhone. I want to
say that I haven't seen much about it, but I did kind of peek at like the reviews, and I don't think they're 50, I think they're kind of split.
Okay. It looks like it's going to be a pretty bonkers movie, which I think one of the reviews literally called it bonkers.
Yeah, fucking bonkers.
That we had the trailers weren't too bad.
I had seen like all of them.
That Speaking of Evil
they
trailer,
fucking tell the whole movie.
They really do.
Like,
they really do.
Like now, do they tell the whole movie, or do they only tell the movie if you've seen the other one?
They probably. I mean, they must do something different.
They have to, right? I mean,
they're gonna. I think they're gonna nerf the ending
because a lot of those scenes were like.
Well, there's a lot of fighting that happens from the Good Family. Yeah. That doesn't fucking happen in the original one. So
if they don't end it the same way, then I want.
They're gonna nerf it. They're not gonna cut the little girls. Kill them all. there's no fucking way that they're gonna.
If they don't throw rocks at them when they're just lying at the bottom of that hill,
Naked.
then I'm gonna be really pissed off.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell Blumhouse I will never give you another one of my dollars.
Doll hairs.
What was the other one?
We got Alien Romulus again.
Yeah.
Alien Romulus.
We got
What was that
Cuckoo.
other?
And then we got
Cuckoo.
the new Francis Ford Coppola movie.
Yeah, that was
That looks
Megalopolis.
wild.
Yeah.
I wonder how long that fucking movie's gonna be.
It's
Let's
definitely
over
3
under
hours.
3 hours.
Probably it's over 3 hours.
100%.
Because this is like his last movie, right?
Yeah, and it's been.
Yeah.
I think it's taken him. He's wanted to make this movie for like 30 years.
Yeah. And then what was the other one? Like the weird like love story with the
Oh,
Russian guy.
That was a neon. That looks
yeah.
pretty good actually.
Yeah,
That didn't look.
non-horror
That's a
movie.
movie I'd watch like at home. That looks like this year's like Saltburn.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
It's definitely not a horror movie,
Like
but it's
very like
something interesting.
just sexed up movie
Yeah,
with
yeah.
like.
Tits.
Well, that chick, I forget her name. It's like Mickey something, but she was in Scream 6.
Scream reboot, and she was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yes, and she is
Yeah.
fucking awesome in a Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
And she's a fucking lunatic
She's
in
the
that
one.
movie.
She's the one that gets
Lit on fire.
Lit on fire. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know what you're talking about now.
Yep.
That's a movie
right.
I gotta rewatch. I haven't seen that movie.
Movie rocks.
I love
That movie is so good. It's very long, but it's like you watch it and it flies by, dude. That's like Tarantino's like full. He tiptoes big time into horror with that.
Dude, the Spawn Ranch scene in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is like one of the scariest non-horror movie scenes you'll probably.
And
ever
then
watch.
the home invade. You have a full blown home invasion scene with you.
Yeah.
The only difference is that you got Brad Pitt fucking cooked on acid and he just destroys these people, dude.
Yeah, this is like an alternate universe.
Yeah, it's like the way like in
because
Glorious
does Sharon Tate actually die in it? No.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
No,
they
she
go to
lives.
his house instead.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
that's like I like that.
I'm as real as a donut, motherfucker.
Oh, he just bashes the girl's face off the fucking banister.
Throws the dog food can with the fucking.
That's
Yeah.
how everyone.
That's
wished-
Austin
That would have been
Butler.
awesome. If that's
Austin
how it
Butler,
actually
yeah.
happened.
Yeah. Oh my god, I know, right?
Yeah, I saw that in theaters. That was a fucking real fun one.
Yeah, that movie rocks.
Yes.
Honestly,
all
I'm
of
telling you
these
right now,
movies
real
rock,
real
dude.
fun movie. Monkey Man. You guys have to watch that.
Yeah,
Man?
my buddy told me
Alright,
about
Fucking
that too.
awesome.
Yeah.
It's like if you like John. Well, you still haven't seen one John
I
Wick.
haven't seen any of the John Wick
really?
movies. Nope.
They're like
this is better than
Yeah.
John Wick though for two reasons: less guns.
Yep.
And better story.
Okay.
And the soundtrack, I will say, rocks. Actually, it's a fantastic soundtrack. A lot of the songs, a lot of it's like Indian music, but it fucking bumps.
Yeah.
Like this is a fucking.
All right. Okay. Fair enough.
It's not like the.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, no,
like,
you're right.
yeah, the soundtrack. Not that there's anything wrong with Indian music. I'm just saying you don't normally hear it.
having
No,
condensation.
but it's not what you normally listen to. So
No.
yeah, no.
And I was like, oh, this is actually, but it fits the scene so well. The movie's wild.
Yeah.
Like I have it for another 24 hours. So if you wanted to borrow my
Maybe I will.
Prime, you could do that. but-
Maybe I will. I think we probably have we said all we want to say about Longlegs at this point.
Until
yeah.
because
until
as
we
we're
watch it.
well, the thing is, as we're unpacking it all, parts are popping into my head where I'm like, oh, well, what about this? What about that? Like,
Yeah.
so I can't wait to watch this movie a second time
I
and
know.
a third time
I know.
and a fourth. This is definitely going to be another.
I
I'm
wonder.
buying this steelbook when it comes out.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
be getting this as on its release too.
I wonder where it's going to be streaming when it's.
Where
It's
did
not in
Immaculate go?
That's on Prime, I thought. I don't even know if
Immaculate.
Max? No.
I think
Immaculate is Immaculate on Hulu.
It might be.
I don't
on
think
Hulu.
I don't think you can you watch it for free right now?
At this point, maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
I kept having to rent it.
I
think.
forget where I watched it. I
Also,
think I rented
don't
it.
know. I still need to watch the first one too.
I don't
That's
know,
really good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll check that one.
that's like top 3 for me right now.
That wow.
All right.
So,
I
it's
think
this Late Night with the Devil and
First Omen?
That's what I have
So-
ranked for right now. Yeah.
Satanic horror reigning supreme this year so
Mhm.
far.
Yeah, dude. No shit.
Yeah.
Hail Satan,
Hail
For
brother.
Satan.
real,
baby.
dude. Like
Yeah.
it's everything is satanic now.
Yeah. I am just like seeing this movie in theaters and seeing the trailers that we did before and just knowing what's coming in the back half of the
Oh,
year.
2 more months, the next 3 more months, 4 more months.
Dude, like
Dude, no, end with
For the rest of
Nosferatu
the
at the
year?
fucking end of the year.
Nosferatu, Alien
We got
Romulus,
almost half a
Maxine.
year, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we even got a fucking announcement about a
Terrifier
new
3.
VHS movie coming to Shutter in
But,
October. I
so
got
what's
boner
different
about
this
that,
year?
so
I
I'm like, yeah.
don't know if it's different a lot. What's different about this year is there's a lot. You can definitely see horror's making a huge comeback because there's a lot more mainstream movies coming
Mm.
from horror, and they're actually
Better,
good.
yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, these are actually good. Not like, oh, some weird fucking
Well,
like.
but you're getting these cool production companies that aren't afraid to
They're
fucking
starting to
do
realize
cool
yeah,
shit.
this shit's fucking
So
great.
that's
Yeah.
your Neon and your A24, which is already obviously they've established themselves. They're
Yeah.
A24, I think, is a little more
Reserve?
stuffy.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little
Neon's
more
a little more willing to get like grindhousey.
Get fucking weird.
Yeah, like I feel like Neon will go hard. But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
Speaking of Neon, I'm kind of really pumped to see Cuckoo. Also,
too.
Yeah, I love Dan Stevens. Looks like he's
That's
doing a
August,
batshit
dude,
crazy
right? That's
role. Like,
August.
yeah.
Don't we have one like couple weeks? Like, real quick?
I mean,
August is a couple
Alien,
weeks.
Alien
and
Romulus.
Cuckoo come out, I think,
August,
on the
right.
same day.
Yep.
Terrifier 3 is October.
Let me pull up my calendar here because I have a movie release.
Still got to
to
see Maxine. That's out.
Yeah,
I don't know if I'm gonna get to see.
I don't
it.
I'm
either.
probably not going to. Of the two movies, Maxine and this, I would have preferred to have seen this in theaters.
Oh,
too.
100%.
Maxine, I definitely want to see, but I don't think I'm going to have time to be able to.
It's going to be streaming with.
I'm pretty sure I saw
Month.
Pearl streaming.
I saw that. I bought it.
Pearl's
I
on
bought
Max, I
the-
think.
Yes.
I saw that streaming. I didn't see that in theaters.
I saw X in theaters, and then I bought my Blu-ray of Pearl, and I watched it on that.
I gotta say, my turn on X from when I first watched that movie to now.
Mm.
I don't know if it's a turn on X, but Pearl was fucking phenomenal. I don't know if it
Pearl's
fascinates
great.
me.
Yeah.
I think.
You don't like X,
So I didn't initially.
but now you do.
Remember when we first? I
Yeah.
don't remember. I don't know. I have to rewatch it. I think Pearl. Maybe Pearl makes
X,
me think I would
X
like
is
X.
fucking cool.
I think I
dude.
need to watch X again. I kind of want to watch all.
It's very like Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
That's definitely gonna be like when that's finished. I'm gonna buy that trilogy and just fucking bang that out.
By the way, so preview of coming attractions here. I'm taking Kat to go see Twisters on opening night because Twisters is one of her favorite movies. But
What a nice
we got
guy.
fucking Deadpool and Wolverine next week, which I know
Yeah, I
people
don't
have
give a shit
Marvel
about
fatigue.
that.
I want to fucking see that movie. We get that new Shyamalan movie, Trap, coming on August 2nd, which is the one with Josh Hartnett as the serial killer Josh Hartnett. Cuckoo is on August 9th. Alien Romulus is on
Okay, 15.
August
or
16th.
16.
The Crow remake on August 23rd.
No interest.
Yeah, I don't really have any interest
That
in that
movie
either.
that came out from Yorgos Lanthimos, Kinds
Yeah.
of Kindness, I guess
Yeah.
is like really fucked up.
Yeah.
No one really knew what it was.
You were telling us about that.
That's
yeah.
available for rent, I think. Right
No,
now.
it's in theaters.
Oh,
It was in
theaters.
theater when we were there today. I
Then-
guess it's super fucked up.
Okay.
So I was like, all right, I'll have
Alright.
to check that one out.
Then in September, we get Beetlejuice on the 6th. Speak No Evil on September 13th. The new Joker movie.
Hey, my birthday.
Yep, on October 4th. I do have Matt's birthday in my calendar. Otherwise, I would forget. Terrifier 3 in October. Smile 2.
Oh, I
bunch
forgot
of
about
stuff.
Smile
Yeah,
2.
So Smile 2, Terrifier 3. There's still quite a bunch of
Nosferatu
So-
on my
big
birthday.
Nosferatu coming out. Yeah, we can do that one for your birthday.
There's a movie I want to see that I think you can get on Prime now. It's a foreign movie. I'm not off the top of my head. I don't know where it's from. It's called Handling the Undead.
I've
I've seen a lot of stuff about this, that this is a like really emotional gut punch.
Yeah, it's
horror
basically
film,
like
right?
if people were zombies, but they were like
They
still
just were
nice.
people.
They were just people.
Well,
yeah.
but like
It's
they
kinda
don't know
cool.
how to do it. It's kind of, remember Birth Rebirth?
Yes.
Kind of like that. So
Okay.
there's a lot of grief involved, but it's also like, dude, imagine like someone you like love died and then they came back to life. You'd be like, what the fuck am I
Dude, go
supposed to
take
do?
a
Like,
fucking shower. I was like kind of
I
moved
saw
on
some-
from you.
I saw a clip from it and like kind of, it was almost like a trailery thing.
Yeah.
And it looks pretty rough. Like they look dead as fuck. And it's
Yeah.
like,
You both.
it looks very strange and
All right,
uncomfortable.
Okay.
You both. Eczema. You guys.
Eczema.
You guys will
I have to watch
That
Eczema.
movie fucking rocks.
I
yeah.
talked about The
you'll
Devil's
love
Bath
that.
too.
Was
it
that good?
It was okay. It's very slow, but that's also like super like satanic-y.
Even
It's got some parts in it that are like you.
like kind of satanic-y.
There's a movie that's out this year
else?
too that's I think Korean called The Medium that I guess is wicked fucking scary.
You guys watch Tarot?
No.
No,
Carrot? I haven't seen that yet.
I haven't
I
seen
didn't know
that
if you
either.
guys had seen it.
I still haven't
It
seen
looks
Stop
kinda-
Motion, which I know
Stop
you guys
Motion's
both
good.
liked. So is that this is Longlegs better than Stop Motion? for you
Yeah,
guys
it's
too?
better.
Yeah.
Stop motion's a different breed of like it's tough to put.
Stop motion is like the Cobweb of this year. Like it's kind of like
Okay.
a sneaky little banger.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
It's probably it could sneak in. It depends on the rest of the year, but it has potential for like an 8, 9, 10 seed. Like it could pop in there.
Okay. All right. Fair.
It was good. It was very good. Don't that's not to besmirch this movie.
Yeah,
at all.
there's a few things that are on streaming that I think I gotta try and catch up on.
I still got to
which
see
I-
Immaculate.
Usually, once it comes to like October through December, that's when I like hit the ground running
Yeah,
and I make
I'm gonna
sure
fly,
everything
yeah.
I watch is something.
That's
new.
why I tried to like. I'm trying to pick up the pace because the last few years I've waited till the end.
and then
and
you just get
it didn't-
bombarded.
I get bombarded. I don't know what to pick, and then I also don't get to rewatch some movies that I wanted to rewatch.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like you,
Are you keeping track on Letterboxd and all the shit
I'm
you've
keeping
been
track
watching?
of everything I watch on Letterboxd, whether it's
Good.
just this year or
Look at you,
last
Andrew.
year.
I'm very proud of you, my friend. Good shit. Good shit.
Well, it's the only way I'll remember.
Did you rate this on Spotify on Letterboxd yet?
I just did.
What'd you guys give it?
I gave it 4.
I think I'm gonna give it a
4?
I gave it a 4.
Yeah.
It could be higher.
This might be a 4 or 4.5 for me.
It's
I'm
close.
yeah.
I gave Monkey Man a 5.
Did you? Nice.
Because it's so I rate movies differently.
Mhm.
Like horror movies, I rate very differently than I rate.
I
like
gave
a,
I gave Late Night with the Devil a 4. This gets a 4.
What did I give Late Night with the Devil? I think I gave that 4.5.
You might have.
If you pull it up, Matt, you should be able to see anyone you're friends with, what they rated it.
You gave it a 4.5.
4.5. Okay, so this
Gotta
Late
be
Night
a
with the
5?
Devil, I
It's a
might.
5?
Yeah, Late Night with the
Is
Devil,
there a
I
5?
would probably knock Late Night with the Devil down to a 4, and this would probably be a 4.5.
Because you're like Portnoy. There's no 10s, and unless it's like Jaws or.
I'm not ready to
certain-
call either of those movies on that level with Jaws,
No.
Alien, The Thing, Halloween.
Well, that's why it's tough.
like,
If you could
yeah,
give it like a 4.9.
Yeah. All right. All right, guys. Anything else we want to get to here on Longlegs or, Cheetos popcorn or Swedish fish?
Get your fucking long
I know.
stems to the theater. and
I was
see
like,
it.
I wasn't gonna eat any popcorn, and then I was like,
Andrew gonna fucking.
I was
That thing
getting
was
into
giant.
yeah. He got
I
a
ate like none of that.
You
Like,
got
this is too much
Home
popcorn.
Depot bucket of popcorn.
Well, I said small, and then he came back. You said large, right? And I was like, what? Yeah. And then I was like,
I was
oh.
like, that is a
I was
maniac
like,
move.
oh, I don't need this big of a. Well,
I was
too late
making
now.
fun of you because you got that and you got like
A
candy
huge
and like
ice.
a drink, and it was like $30, and I like nudged Mike. I'm like, what an asshole! You just spent $30 on popcorn and candy.
I only go to the movies once.
I
like,
know.
in a
It
blue
sucks
moon.
that it's that fucking expensive.
This was definitely like I wanted
bullshit.
to get popcorn for this.
If
movie
I had a
for
purse,
sure.
I'd bring my snacks in.
Yeah.
I spent $7 on a fucking water bottle.
Dude, they fucking
Well, that's the only.
they fucking.
If this
bent
is
you the
what
fuck over
so
and they
so
don't
if
even
this
give you
is
a
what
reach
keeps
around,
movie
dude. It is a-
theaters in business,
yeah.
I'm all for it.
Yeah.
But I might look into that Regal pass, and they also have the refillable pass too. They have that commercial for like refillable.
Dude,
drinks
if I
and
eat
popcorn.
all that popcorn, I deserve a fucking free refill.
Mhm.
dude, you die.
Yeah.
That's like your salt intake.
It was
for
good
a fucking
popcorn.
month.
It is great popcorn,
Yeah.
but I can't eat more than like. The problem is I eat I eat all my snacks what I'm willing to eat for snacks before the movie starts.
Yeah.
Because then I'm like, I feel like shit. I'm gonna shit my pants.
Well,
if I
dude,
try and
the
eat
cool
more
thing, because
popcorn.
it was a decently crowded theater. There was
Yeah.
more people there than we thought
Yeah.
were gonna be,
Yeah.
and it was dead silent.
It was awesome.
Like,
Yeah, it was
I
good.
didn't hear
True
anybody.
moviegoers there.
People are going to see this movie on opening weekend. You want to see this fucking movie.
Yeah.
There's no
What's
Sunday.
what's this sitting at on fucking Rotten Tomatoes?
That's a very good
100.
question. On
It's
Roddy
still
Keys.
like even
It was at
audience
100
for
yesterday, I
Audience
think.
too,
I don't know.
because that's more.
I don't
variety.
know if there's. I didn't know there was a difference.
Lay it on us, Andrew, when you find it. What do you
If it's
think?
different. Well, the audience is a different rating.
Critic score.
Oh,
and
that's
then
right,
audience
yeah.
score. Yeah.
What you talking about? What you talking about, Willis? Right now we have it at 87 for 66 audience score.
Oh, really?
What? You people are crazy.
That's wild.
Yeah,
and that's
that's nuts.
That's over 500 reviews.
87% critics.
Critics 87% from 166 critics.
Okay.
Over 500 audience reviews, 66%.
Wow. Interesting. Okay.
Maybe people don't like Satan.
Maybe
Well, I mean, one of your
it is
buddies-
confused. Yeah, one of my
Yeah,
buddies
yeah.
said he was like, yeah, it was meh.
Meh.
So
It was mid, as the kids
yeah,
say.
he said it was mid.
Which I'm like. I don't know.
While this movie was way overhyped, it was a decent B horror flick. You're a fucking idiot. Stop that.
Just yelling at critics.
Worst movie I've seen in a long time. These are audience reviews.
Worst movie you've seen.
But like
in a
these
long
are the
time.
people that like will go and see Halloween Ends, and they're like,
These are the
that
people.
was the
Yeah,
best
these are the,
horror
these are
movie
the people
to come out.
that should go. Just go see a Marvel movie like you should have.
Yeah.
Fucking losers. No time for those people.
All right. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up for this episode of America's Hometown Horror.
Mhm.
Hopefully you enjoyed Longlegs as much as we did. Go fucking see it. Go see it again. Go support your local movie theaters so they stay in business, as Andrew said, and pay $30 for a Home Depot bucket full of popcorn, a huge drink, and some Swedish fish.
The Swedish fish were subpar too.
Were they?
There was something wrong with them.
How can Swedish fish be
I
subpar?
think if
Candy
they
salmon?
sit there too long,
Yeah, maybe.
they're
I mean,
too fat. I like a thin. This wasn't eating way too much. They hadn't purged their system
I
before they
see.
put them in the bag.
the Cheetos popcorn was fucking bomb. Even though they advertise they have flaming hot Cheetos popcorn, and the 2 times I've asked for it that I've been in the theaters, they haven't had it.
They've
so-
also been advertising they have pretzel bites for about
and
3 years
they
now,
don't
and they
have
never
those.
have.
Yeah, like fucking step
Because
it
they're
up.
like,
Step it up, Kingston Mall, Regal Cinemas. Let's fucking go. All right. All right,
We
let's
should go to the one in Hanover soon.
We
I
should.
hear that's really good.
I'm sure it's probably fucking awesome. It's just not right down the street, which would be
Isn't that an AMC?
Could be.
maybe
I could be wrong.
Is Braintree AMC?
Ranger's
I think
AMC,
it's
Randolph's
That
Showcase.
theater rocks.
Yeah, this is the new one in Hanover. I think is similar to the one in Braintree.
Okay, gotcha. All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in to another episode of America's Hometown Horror. We certainly appreciate it. Go see Longlegs, and we'll talk to you at some point. I don't know. We already have an episode that's coming out after this one, so we'll be back at some point with some movie of undetermined origin, and maybe on another podcast that we're on the podcast network for. Hey, you never know. Gentlemen, say goodbye to your audience.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Hasta la vista. Hasta linguista.
Hasta la vista.
The almost birthday girl.
Yeah.
Hey everyone, it's Mike from America's Hometown Horror, and I want to say thanks again for listening to another episode of our show. If you're interested in more local Plymouth podcasts, I'd highly recommend you check out the shows from our friends over on the Inebriart Podcast Network. In addition to America's Hometown Horror, you can find shows from Inebriart, the Old Colony Cast, Bar Talk, Theme Park Legends, and Retro Redoctopus, so head on over and give them a listen.